Okay, welcome, and thank you all for tuning in today. Today we'll be addressing the topic of artificial intelligence learning. This is presented by Ethan Richardson. So the first thing we want to look at is the relevance to the current world of education. So the creation of OpenAI's virtual chatbot, ChatGPT, and its similar AI software, they have created a rise of concern for teachers, and mainly in my instruction in English. This can be in the form of writing essays for students, or solving problems without them having to do the work. These AI have the ability to write essays right away and make them fluent, worrying English teachers worldwide. However, the best way to combat AI is to use it as a tool and not pretending it doesn't exist. I've seen so many stories and examples of teachers neglecting to talk about AI and it only backfires on them. So let's look at how to use it in a proper tool for learning. So we're going to talk about AI education and AI teaching efficacy. This is presented by Beng-Hee Kim. Beng-Hee Kim elaborates on the idea of AI, and instead of shying away from it, he teaches teachers how to use it as a tool in classroom. The author outlines some very specific ways which they can be used in a classroom, and I will present those to you now. The first tool is to have pre-class knowledge. What I mean by this is educating yourself within AI standards to know what it is before your class begins. It is important for teachers to look at AI and figure out how it works and its limitations and tools. Most AIs have patterns and indications of when they are being used, so it's important to be able to recognize those patterns so that if you do see a student using it in the wrong way, you can understand that and know that it's happening. So for example, giving the AI an essay prompt and seeing what it does and what it does bad is important to understand. ChatGPT, the main one of today's world, is known for not being able to create proper MLA citations and for not really delving into details. It's very brief, it's very open-ended with its responses. It also has a very typical format. It responds to the same way to every prompt, no matter the information is being processed, the method in which it replies is always the same. So understanding that and knowing its limitations, but also understanding how you can use it as a tool in your classroom is important. Understanding, what good it can do. So moving on to the next helpful tool, reworking the assignments. So after you can familiarize yourself with AI, it's important to look at your own assignments and see if any of them can be compromised by an artificial intelligence. This could be more prevalent in a class with closed-end answers. A math class is very easy to think of how an AI could create problems. However, in a math class, you could simply ask the students to expand on their work, and AI would have a problem expanding that work in the way that you want it done as an educator. If we look at English, we see that English teachers need to rework essay prompts that are too broad and simple. There are prompts in essays that are write a 500-word essay on the American Revolution. That's way too broad, and it'll create the AI can create a text from that sounds like a student because it's so broad and it's not asking for a lot of details. So it's important to make your questions more personable and complex. This way, an AI may be able to assist in the research process, but you couldn't just plug the prompt into it and expect it to work. If you think about this in a deeper sense, AI can be a very helpful tool for helping a research process and helping find sources that can be incredibly useful to a student. However, if the prompt can be answered in the AI and pass for a student's work, it's time to rework that assignment. Looking at this last tool, it's using AI for feedback. AI is not the best at writing those in-depth essays like we talked about earlier. However, it has an incredible ability to process and offer feedback on certain elements of essays. You think about it. You ask ChatGPT to provide grammar feedback, and it could tell you you're writing well, but maybe diversify your word usage, or maybe think about ending this sentence here and cutting this up into two different paragraphs. It's incredibly helpful for students who are getting the content and they're understanding what you want them to write about. They just don't have the best writing ability. And so using that as a tool, especially within the classroom, and showing students its limitations, but how it works is incredibly helpful to the students, especially the ones who struggle a little more. Which leads us into universal design for learning and how it cooperates with AI. So we start with the first one, multiple means of engagement. Teachers can engage students by letting them choose a topic to write with the help of AI. We look at multiple means of expression. AI may help those with verbal disabilities or other learning disabilities that are too difficult to accommodate to normally. Clearly, teachers can accommodate, but AI can be used to assist them. And then multiple means of representation. Learning can come from so many different forms, and that can make it hard for students to learn in traditional ways. AI allows for a different perspective for students who need it, a non-traditional method of learning. And that is all for this presentation. If you'd like to know more, please look into Kim Hung Lee's essay. He is an incredible writer, and I think it would serve everyone well to look into that. Once again, I thank you. This has been Ethan Richardson, signing off.